Okay, but now it's time for Otto's Tales. Okay.
Welcome to Otto's Tales. Story time.
Okay, they've got that fucking banner on the bottom again, so is it going to cover up any of their title cards? Yeah, I mean, that was an excellent
Brought to you by PragerU Kids. I'm Jill, and today we're going to read a story about something really special to all of us.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the recipe for the Vera Pizza Napoletana. We're gonna talk about value theory. What are we gonna talk about?
You want a hint? Well, it's red, white, and blue, and has 50 stars on it.
Well, I mean, that first bit, I love how people in the US act like red, white, and blue is somehow a distinctive thing when so many fucking flags. I think it may be the most common color scheme for flags. Oh, I understand. This must be very hard for you to watch as a Jill yourself. I mean, let me see. Let's see how many countries we can name with red, white, and blue flags. Okay, I'll start. Cuba. North Korea. South Korea, but they've also got black in it, so we'll take that one back. Czech Republic. Britain. Russia. The Netherlands. France. God, let me see. There are a bunch more. Chile, certainly. Yeah, we've got Russia and France. I mean, there are a lot of them, in any case. It's so weird that people act all distinctive about it. Okay, so...
Yes! Otto!
You know, I've not seen people... Look, I watch fucking North Korean TV, and I have not even seen on there... And there are a lot of fucking flags on North Korean TV. I've never once seen somebody act that excited just to be holding a flag. Luxembourg, good, yeah. New Zealand...
We are reading today about our American flag. Thank you. Hey, what do you have there?
Oh, just a case of mange.
Now, what are these?
Kindling. I mean...
American flags? I don't know about that, because this one has 13 stars.
See, the thing is, when it's PragerU, you don't know if she's doing a bit or if she really is that ignorant.
And this one has 15 stars, and our American flag, Otto, has 50 stars, so these cannot be American flags. Are you sure they're American flags?
Jesus. This is like... Well, thank you for that. Like, yeah, I mean, I remember at the anniversary of it was the 200th anniversary of the U.S. Constitution, my school, Jerry Springer spoke at it. Just to give you an idea what time period we're talking about. And they handed us all these little flags. And then they told us we absolutely must not have them pointing down. And we certainly must not put them on the ground. And so we all got fucking arm cramps, standing there, listening to Jerry Springer drone on about Republican virtues.
Should I read our story and find out if these are American flags?
I thought you just told us that they were. I mean... Oh, we're supposed to pretend we didn't hear that. Like, this makes Barney look like it's designed to be challenging.
Okay, hey, are you able to be responsible for me and take good care of these while I read our book?
Yeah, go shit on him, Otto.
Okay, thank you, Otto. Oh, and don't let them touch the ground.
Oh, Otto is the dog? Yeah, oh god, don't let them touch the ground. Yeah, god.
Okay, let's read Otto's Tales. Today is Flag Day.
Why does the little kid have fucking gray hair?
Ruff, ruff. I'm Otto. My best friend Dennis and I are so excited.
My best friend Dennis? What, this is Dennis Prager's fucking self-insert character? Ah, enjoy.
Excited. It's almost summertime. It's so warm and...
Well, this animation, look, the fucking dog's legs aren't even moving. This is the shittiest animation ever. And look,
sunny.
Look at this. The frisbee and the dog are traveling at the exact same rate of speed. This is what the...
It's a perfect time to go for a swim.
Oh, okay, now they've adjusted
Dennis said. Yes, I barked. We can have ice cream by the pool.
Oh, okay, so this is... Okay, so he's playing... So the author, Dennis Prager, is telling this from the perspective of his own dog.
That sounds great.
I think everybody who's been around Dennis ends up getting gray hair pretty quickly.
Great, Dennis replied, but it's also the perfect time to be grateful for our country.
Yeah, you know, as kids say to their dogs, you know, Fluffy, yes, okay, we can throw the frisbee, but have you thought at all about our Republican virtues today? Have you thought at all about the revolutionary exploits of the great leader George Washington? Oh, I've had dogs that absolutely fucking love chasing shit into water. I mean, I've had dogs that hate it too, but I've had dogs where you take them to the beach, if you take them to a lake or something like that, and chuck a frisbee into it, they're totally into getting it. I mean,
do you know that Flag Day is coming up?
Okay. And the dog. So why? And why is he telling his dog this? Is this Dennis Prager's way of telling us that he never had any friends, and he's wearing a fucking tie as he's throwing his frisbee to his dog?
Do! I shouted. I love our country's flag, especially the colors red, white, and blue.
Yeah. Ooh. I mean, this is like, I have to say, oh yeah, I bet that's another one of these Otto tales. Jesus, this is worse than their normal kids propaganda. And I just have to say, I have watched most of, like, the full broadcast date of, like, DPR KTV when I'm working. I have it on as background music. And even their children's programming, as preachy as everything is on North Korean television, is preachy as fuck. It is not subtle about it either. It still manages to be less overtly just, like, shoehorning the stuff in than this. This is actually worse children's propaganda than Korean Central TV.
Why do you think those are the colors of our flag?
Because it's the most common color scheme of in national vexillology. Otto the dog replied. Like, why is he asking his dog?
I don't know, answered Dennis. Let's...
Wait, the dog is the one asking him about the colors of the flag? Is the dog actually... Is the big surprise reveal going to be that the dog's actually, like, E.T.'s supervisor come to check in on him?
Let's find out why. And we can also learn about Flag Day.
No, fuck that. I want to throw the frisbee by the pool.
We jumped onto Dennis's couch. This can be our time machine. Good idea, Otto.
He's blaming the dog for this really crappy way of wasting an afternoon.
Off we go. Zoom! We
Zoom.
traveled to Philadelphia in 1778.
Yeah.
Americans were fighting for an independent United States. A lady He waved to us from the street and walked across. When she reached us, she said, "Hello, I'm Betsy Ross."
Okay.
I was so...
You know, what's great about this is you really just kind of feel. You get a feeling for the period. It just feels like you're there. Yeah, good point, Jill S. I'd forgotten that.
excited that my tail began to wag.
God, look at this animation. This is like the kind of animation I do. On the very rare occasions when I animate things, which I don't because it's a pain in the ass.
Dennis asked, "Aren't you the one who designed our nation's flag?"
And she said, "Yeah, aren't you supposed to be a little bit careful about changing the timeline and fucking up future events? I haven't designed any nation's flag at the moment. Right now, I'm just rolling joints for the Washingtons."
She answered, "Some say that's a myth and it might not be true."
Some say that's a myth and it might not be true.
But I'd be happy to share the story of the first flag with you.
Oh God, okay. So now all of a sudden it's rhyming. Like, just out of nowhere, it's rhyming, and it's rhyming badly.
"In 1776, said Betsy, "we declared ourselves a nation. We needed a symbol to pass down to future generations."
"But Betsy," said Otto, "there's no... even without alliteration, your pedestrian rhymes smack of nationalist masturbation." Well, yes, so what we're saying is that Betsy Ross ought to be freaked out by the weird animal?
1 year later, she continued, Congress settled on a flag design.
Wait, okay, but supposedly we've gone back to... So she's now telling the dog about events that haven't happened yet from her perspective?
I barked. "It took them until 1777 to make up their minds." Betsy added, "The flag started with 13 stars on that date." Dennis shouted,
But as far as she's concerned, why would you say it that way? Because it's still, as far as she's concerned, it still has 13 stars. Like, this is so, like, they couldn't find any actual people who know how to write stories for children. I think that should feel... I think that's possibly a good thing, that this stuff is just so badly done that they couldn't possibly have had any professional involvement.
"That's because at the time, there were only 13 states."
And Betsy said, "What the hell do you mean by that? There still are only 13 states."
I barked. "The big red stripes on the flag look so nice."
No, they just look like they're just straight lines.
Betsy said, "Red symbolizes our nation's courage and sacrifice."
Fun fact, military graves aren't crosses, specifically because, I mean, U.S. military graves aren't crosses specifically because not all of the people buried under them are Christian.
Dennis asked, "What's the rectangle in the corner and why is it blue?" Betsy responded,
Jesus.
"Blue represents justice for all."
It does? Yeah, exactly. Why isn't she freaking out about that? Oh, well, what's going on here is that this is... I bet this is... I want to know, like, did Dennis Prager write this himself? Who the fuck wrote this? This is, like... This is just so badly done. Wait, Mask, I just noticed you said that the flags would be tinder, not kindling. Well, now I'm curious. There's a difference? I didn't know there was a difference between tinder and kindling.
"Including me and you." I said, "You'll know why there are white stars and stripes, of that I am sure." Betsy replied, The color white reminds us to
Because that this country is founded by a bunch of white supremacists.
always be pure.
What?
Betsy replied, the color white reminds us to always be pure.
Oh, well, that's a little mask off there, PragerU.
I barked. Over time, our country grew at a very fast pace. One day, that flag will have 50 stars on its face.
Like, okay, and... Oh, I see. Interesting. Yes, yeah, the white, symbolizes the importance of purity, apparently. Well, and that there's absolutely nothing problematic there.
50 stars on our nation's flag? Betsy exclaimed. Dennis responded, yes, but the red, white, and blue colors remain the same.
Well, I mean, this is such riveting writing. I mean, you just feel, you care about the characters. Like, if Godzilla were to appear in the middle of this and flatten all three of them, you would, I suppose, feel mildly peeved that you sat through all this and the only resolution is that they all got flattened by Godzilla. Yes, it grew, just sort of organically, not not because of any kind of genocidal imperialist strategy of conquest or
I
anything.
said, thank you, Betsy. We would really love to stay, but now we're going
to join the IRA.
To learn about the first Flag Day. We zoomed off to...
Wait, okay. What the fuck? So they used the couch to get back to the late 18th century. And then in the late 18th century, they catch an early model prop plane to fly to the future where there is the first Flag Day.
49 in Washington, D.C. In the White House, we saw Harry Truman.
And what's he doing with his hand there?
President 33. He said, our nation's founding fathers had a great vision. On June 14th of 1777.
Jesus, I mean... there's no story to this. It's just people, like, being lectured. This is so badly done.
They reached an important decision. I barked.
Wait, okay, so the dog is the one doing all the talking?
We met Betsy Ross, and she told us the whole story.
And then Harry Truman said, meeting you has been just like purgatory. Yeah, and they're coincidentally the colors of quite a few fucking flags.
Dennis chimed in. Congress selected a flag. We now call it Old Glory.
Well, and thank you for informing me of that weird kid in the flight hat with the talking dog.
Yes, said President Truman. They chose a flag with the...
Wait, where did he get the fucking flag from? He didn't have a flag a second ago.
The colors red, white, and blue. To the flag's values, they hoped we'd always stay true. I barked. I love our...
Yeah, he barks every single time. Yeah. Quando Repubblichino omaggia un germano, alza la mano destra al saluto romano. Ma se per caso incontrano gli altri partigiani, per salutare alza entrambe le mani.
Flag and the
An old partisan song. It means, when a fascist meets a German, he raises his right hand in the Roman salute. But if he should happen to meet us partisans, he greets us by raising both his hands.
values it represents. I couldn't agree more, smiled the president. To honor those values, he continued, and those who fought on the nation's behalf.
Oh, wait, they don't even bother to maintain some kind of to any kind of meter to wait, what
To honor those values, he continued, and those who fought on the nation's behalf.
I'm going to put on this red, white, and blue plethysmograph. Yeah, it's called Festa d'Aprile. It's the song that is sung a lot to commemorate the defeat of the fascists in Italy on the 25th of April. It's a great song. It goes on for several verses in much the same vein.
I'm approving this new law by signing my autograph. Dennis said, thanks to this law, June 14th will now be Flag Day.
Okay, we've just thrown the rhyme scheme out the window.
I barked. On this day, across the country, the flag will be on display.
As opposed to the other days when it's just hidden.
The president replied, our flag is special with all that it stands for. Treat it with respect.
And honor Ivo Shandor.
And never let it touch the floor. I barked. Seeing the flag on the White House is as good as it gets.
Now let's get a case of whiskey and a carton of cigarettes. No, it's a totally different rhythm. It's totally different melody and everything. Same era, also an Italian partisan song. There are a few good ones. Italian partisan music is it's pretty next level. They do very interesting things with melody and stuff. Great lyrics too. And it's in Italian. I love Italian.
Dennis replied, oh, Otto, you haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, that's true. Otto has clearly not seen anything yet if he thinks seeing the flag on top of the White House is the best thing is as good as it gets.
We then zoomed to 1969 in a faraway place. We were like astronauts flying through the vastness of space.
Well, these flags are sort of backwards.
Dennis yelled, look, Otto, there's the flag planted on the moon.
And Otto barked, I hope this fucking story ends soon. It is.
I barked.
Another good one is I ribelli della montagna. Ma quella fe, siamo I ribelli della montagna. Viviamo distenti di patimenti, però la fede che ci accompagna sarà la legge dell'avvenire.
Let's see who put it there by landing on that dune.
I don't think the moon actually has dunes.
When we landed, we saw two astronauts walking nearby.
And they kicked us in the ass and taught us to fly.
Their names were Neil and Buzz, and when they saw us, they said hi.
There's absolutely no story structure to this at all. It's just things related to the flag. This is, I can't imagine the child whose interest would actually be held by this.
Dennis asked, how did you two get to this faraway land? Neil responded, many people worked hard to make our trip well planned.
that doesn't answer the question, and it's also just like maybe you see there are people who can do verse and tell a story in verse, and there are people who cannot tell a story in verse. That the whoever wrote this is a person who cannot tell a story in verse. They should just stick to not making things rhyme.
Buzz added, "For centuries we've explored by traveling the seas." I barked, with
Would you like some foot and mouth disease? Oh well, my personal favorites are Parmigiano Reggiano, Pecorino Romano, Mozzarella di Bufala, and Provolone.
with rockets, we can now travel through the galaxy.
I could fucking eat my way through
Neil
Italy.
explained. We were in a...
See, that's how well they have crafted this propaganda. That we've ended up just talking about, like, Italian food. It's like a clip show on sitcoms. You know, sometimes the writers didn't feel like, I did too. Not quite as large a quantity of Reggiano as I imagine that you were cutting. You know, where it's like there was one on Star Trek: The Next Generation where Riker's having some sort of a coma type episode thing, and so it causes him to relive short bits of previous episodes in order to relieve everybody of having to actually make a show. And this is like that, except we don't get clips.
A race to be the first nation on the moon. We won that race by landing here just this afternoon.
Oh.
Dennis said, "Seeing the flag planted here is a sight I'll always treasure."
And then the dog did a shite.
Buzz replied, "It reminds us what Americans can do when we work together."
Leisure together.
I barked, "I'm so glad we went on this amazing ride."
Jesus Christ, this is the ever end. This is taking forever. Like, they've decided that their videos for adults are, they try to aim for like 5 minutes because they know their bullshit can't hold somebody's interest for that much longer. This is 9 minutes. And it is like, there's nothing to hold somebody's
Being an
interest.
American fills me up with so much pride. But it was time to go, and with a great loud boom, our time machine flew us back to Dennis's room. "That was my favorite adventure yet," I barked. You say that every time, Otto. Well, I loved
Oh, yeah. I mean, isn't it so cute? They have a running gag.
learning about the American flag and Flag Day. Yeah.
Like, I mean, they managed to take, they make nationalist propaganda and then try to avoid doing anything that's inspiring.
Yes, our founding fathers left us a wonderful gift with the flag. I'm glad we have a day to honor the flag and everything it means, I said. Me too, replied Dennis.
With the dog, why the fuck does the dog care? The dog doesn't know what country he's in.
I will always be proud of our flag and our country. God bless America, and happy Flag Day. Happy Flag Day!
Jesus fucking Christ.
Ruff, ruff. Wow, did you know that our American flag is on the moon?
Nobody's awake.
That's something special. Hey, Otto! Otto! This is also...
Oh, Otto's about to tell her that some relative of hers died in combat.
something really special. You folded our big American flag?
Yes, in the way that they hand it to you when one of your close relatives has died in one of the many imperialist wars that are being fought under that flag.
This is the proper, exact way to do it, too. I'm impressed, Otto. Not a lot of people know how to take care of our flags like this anymore. By any chance, did you learn how to do this by watching our PragerU Kids how-to video?
God, they made a how-to video for that?
I had a feeling. Good job. We should all learn how to
Oh, that's right. She's the one who gets freaked out on live streams about the fact that some schools are acknowledging that there are trans people.
take care of our flag. It represents our beautiful country and all of us. Thank you for watching Otto's Tales. Check out some of our other stories too. Keep reading, keep watching.
Jesus, this is fucking painful to watch. I mean, I knew I was in for some condescending reactionary bullshit. It is the PragerU brand. But fucking hell.
And keep honoring our American flag. Bye, guys. This is so cool. Can you teach me how to do it?
Jesus. I mean, I guess the best thing I can say about that is that it is so boring and uncompelling that I don't think it is necessarily going to be particularly... that it's going to be particularly convincing to anyone. Like, nobody is going to watch that and be like, oh wow, I should get into American nationalism.